I'm Lauren Maynard. I'm an advanced baby wearing educator with Baby Wearing International of Phoenix, and I'll be showing you how to wash a wool wrap. I'm using Didymos Night Owls for this. The first step when you're washing a wool wrap is to fill a sink or your tub or some other basin with lukewarm water. You want it to be the same temperature as the room. Temperature shocks can cause felting to start happening on the wool. So first we fill the sink with room temperature water and a cap full of your favorite wool detergent. So my favorite is Yukon. There's a few other great brands out there. It doesn't require rinsing, so I can just soak my wrap in it and then I can pull my wrap out and start the drying process. After I have my sink of water, I'm going to put my wrap in it and press gently down on the wrap. I'm trying to avoid agitation. When you have a wet wrap and you rub it together, you're going to start getting felting. So by just pressing it down, and you can turn it gently to make sure that it's covered in water, and then you just leave it to sit for a while. Half an hour, an hour. It can sit longer than that. I don't do less than half an hour to give the detergent time to do a little work. But once that's done, you just pull the plug in the sink and you let the sink drain. You don't touch the wrap, just let the water drain out. I am going to just pull the plug out of the drain and let the water drain out of the sink. I'm not going to touch or scrub the wrap in any way. Once it's done, I can press a few times, just sort of gently squeeze extra water out, but again, I don't want to rub the wrap, agitate it too much. So once you have it pressed out and you have your lump of wet wrap, you can lay it out on towels. Make sure that you're not letting big sections of it hang while you do this. So the first step is to find one end. Oh, here comes my cat who loves wet things. Keep your cat off of it. And go ahead and start laying it out. You don't have to worry too much about it being flat or even. You're not going to dry it here. This is just to press excess water out. If you have extra length and you don't have a long enough room or you don't have enough towels, you can just fold it back on itself right now. And once you have it laid out, you can roll up your towels to press all that extra water out. Once you're done with that, you press the towels. You can even, my toddler loves to walk on it to help with this. And just push, and you're just gently squeezing out all the extra water to get it as dry as you can before you put it on the drying rack, so it'll dry a little faster for you. Okay, now you have two options. You can put your wrap on a drying rack as long as you can do it in a way that supports all the sections evenly, which is what I'm going to do because my cat loves to lay on wet things. Or you can lay out dry towels and lay your wrap flat on that. You don't want to hang on a clothesline or something. If big sections of your wet wool wrap are hanging down, it's going to pull it out of shape and damage it. So you want it to dry evenly supported, which you can do by drying flat or on a rack. So let me show you the rack. It's got two arms that fold up at any angle you want, so I'm able to do them flat for a wool wrap. If you don't have a drying rack, that's fine. Just be really careful that you don't have big sections hanging down when you're drying your wrap. So then I bring my wrap and the towels over, and I'm going to take the towels off, but I'm looking for the middle marker of the wrap while I do this. Found it. That just helps me keep track of how much wrap I have to distribute on each side. So I can pull the towels out of there, and I know that there'll be this much on this side and this much on this side. I'm going to line my middle marker up in the center of my drying rack, and then just start pushing sections down so it hangs down a little bit between each pull, but not too much out through any pull, not big heavy sections hanging down. Obviously, how far you have to go is going to change depending on how long your wrap is. A lot of times I take that little taper and I pull it up. Just, there we go, and then I do the same thing on the other side. You're going to go ahead and let this dry. Overnight works for most wraps in Arizona. It's not very humid here. You might need to do it longer. Once it's completely dry, no damp spots anywhere, you can take it off of your drying rack, and depending on if it needs it, you can either just use it or you can use a steam iron and iron it. I like to iron my wool wraps. It really softens them up. Use the wool setting on your iron. It's cooler than cotton, but it still allows for steam, and a good steam iron can really help break in and soften up the wool wrap beautifully, especially since you do get a little bit of wrinkling on some wraps with this method of drying. So here it is, and now I'm going to let it dry overnight and pick it up in the morning.